morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Everyone, this is going to be a transformative journey that we call the 3A's of entrepreneurship. And today we're not just talking about skills, but the essence of what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. And I want you to imagine yourself as a ship's captain. The sea is vast and it's unpredictable, and it's much like the world of business. And the skills we're going to discuss today, they're going to be your compass. They're going to be your map. They're going to be your guiding star. And we're going to help you navigate through these stormy waters, and you're going to reach the shores of success. I promise you. But remember, these skills aren't just tools in your toolkit. They're the sails that power your ship. So I want you to ask yourself, if you're ready to set sail, are you prepared to learn, unlearn, and relearn? And if yes, then I want you to take this journey with me. This is going to be a cool voyage, and we're going to go into the ocean of knowledge. We're going to emerge with these pearls of wisdom, and I want to welcome you aboard. Now, before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, as we journey together and this entrepreneurial path, it's crucial that we stay connected. We need to stay informed, and let's stay motivated, because entrepreneurship is hard. And our social media platforms and newsletter aren't just for updates and announcements. No, they're more like your dose of inspiration and your guidebook to success and your compass in this vast sea of entrepreneurship. So I want you to know that if you've been hoping for a signal or a hint or a nudge in the right direction when you're feeling like, am I doing the right things? This is what this community is all about. And we want to celebrate your wins, and we want to help you with your struggles, and we want to keep you motivated. And that's what our social media and our newsletter aim to do. My name is Darlene Gagnon. And if this is your first time to join us, thank you so much for including me in your entrepreneurial journey. I founded the 360 Entrepreneur along with my marketing agency, We Connect Global Branding Agency, and a promotional products company that is Kinetic Promotional Products. And 7 years ago, I recruited my beautiful husband to join me in this entrepreneurial journey, and he grabbed our promotional products company and ran with it. He's done an extraordinary job. But in the grand tapestry of life, my husband and I have found our calling, our purpose. So I stand before you as an entrepreneur that's married to a fellow entrepreneur, a mentor in what it looks like to have a family-owned business, a guide, because I've made the typical entrepreneurial mistakes, and I'm a partner in your journey toward growth and success. And business is not just about numbers. It's not just about profits. It's about people. It's about relationships. It's about love and harmony. And this life is like a beautiful dance where every single step that you take, every twirl, every leap matters. In this world of entrepreneurship, every single thing you do, it matters. So I want you to come with me into this room where we're going to garner up some inspiration. We're going to intertwine that with some of our passion, and then we're going to have some hardcore skill learning today. Okay. So listen, this webinar is not like my typical webinar sessions that you've been on before. It's probably going to go over an hour. If you can't stay, that's fine. On Monday, this will be up on YouTube. This webinar is going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be intense. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of detail. I'm overwhelmed. And then it's going to peak up to excitement again. Why? Because I'm not here to give you only the thrills of being in entrepreneurship and growing a business. We're going to talk about the real hard work it takes for you to run a business, keep a business alive and thriving, so that you're building that legacy that I know that you want to build. So consider this like a workshop. If you got to hop off, that's fine. You can pick up where you left off on YouTube. Okay. So let's set the stage, my fellow entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship, it's a word that conjures up images of endless wealth, freedom, the ability to call your own shots. And let me tell you, my friends, these are all illusions, mirages in the desert of reality. Yes, entrepreneurship can lead to wealth and freedom. Yes, entrepreneurship is got its fair share of rewards, but it doesn't come without the sacrifice of blood, sweat, and tears. And it's not merely a job, it's a lifestyle. It's a 24/7 commitment, and it demands your heart and your soul and everything in between. So I want you to imagine this. You're standing on the edge of the cliff. The wind's whipping through your hair. There's a vast expansion of unknown stretched before you. That's entrepreneurship. It's a leap of faith into the unknown. And it's about embracing that uncertainty, the risk, and the fear, and saying, I'm bigger than this and I can do this. So the pros of entrepreneurship, yeah. I mean, if you're okay with sleepless nights, countless rejections, if you're willing to give it your all, even when the odds are against you, then welcome to the world of entrepreneurship. This is where the world of dreams are forged into the crucible of perseverance. So yes, you're going to get freedom and flexibility. You're going to be in total control of your destiny. And obviously, nobody's going to be firing you. And there's rewards and personal fulfillment of that. But the cons are, if you're looking for an easy ride, if you want a shortcut to success, if you want to say, I own my own business, I have a family business, I'm in business with my spouse, or my son works for me, all of those great acknowledgments mean nothing, because it does take a ton of risk. It's financial risk, there's instability, there's economic factors. Look what happened with the pandemic. Nobody could have planned that. So there's uncertainty, and you've got to work crazy hours, and you got to put in a ton of work, and that creates stress and pressure. And that's why entrepreneurship is not for everyone. And I'm here to tell you that if you go through this webinar and you're like, you know what, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. That is okay. Think about Walmart. It takes the janitor to mop the floors, to the guy in the warehouse to load the boxes up, to the cashier, to the automation of technology, to the CEO to run Walmart. It takes everybody in between. If entrepreneurship is not for you, that is okay. You need to find your own path and don't look back. But let's talk about the DNA of entrepreneurship, because if you're on this webinar, you know for a fact that you've got an itch and you got an urge to really get out there and express yourself through your own company. And so the DNA of entrepreneurship, of course, you got to be visionary. Of course, you got to see into the future and say, I know I can build this business, and I'm willing to put my life on the line for it, because I know and I believe in my innovation and my creation, and I've got the resilience to do it. I don't care. I'm determined. I am flexible, I'm adaptable, and I will find the resources to push through, even if I'm working 20 hours a day. That's the type of leader I am. And you also know that you're always going to be learning, and you have to stay humble enough to know that whether you've been in business day one or you have been in business for 2 decades, you are always going to be learning something. And you will never feel that crave for learning and growing if you're not passionate about what you're doing, if you're not a problem solver for your client, and if you can't make decisive decisions for your own personal growth, for your business personal growth, for your clients, for your staff, for your family, if you're not that type of person, you will not succeed, because you have to be a self-starter. But all of these elements that I just talked about, all of these DNA particles of entrepreneurship really come down to 3 A's of entrepreneurship. Really 3 A's. They're all encompassed in this. And we're going to talk about the first one. And this is where it gets exciting. Remember, I told you we're going to go up. It's going to get exciting, and it's going to get tense. So hang on. Okay. Hang on. You're standing at the helm of a ship. It's your family business. It's your solo entrepreneur business. The sea is vast. The journey is filled with promise and challenges alike. But one thing can turn the tide in your favor at all times. It's your attitude and your state of mind. And it's like this compass that's guiding your ship. It's shaping the course of how this path is going to work. And that means how you engage with yourself and your spouse if you're working together. It's how you engage with your family members and being able to put yourself in their shoes before it becomes intense in conflict. It's about really thinking about your team members and how you want to lead your team members. And more importantly, it influences every decision you make, because if you have a deep inner critic that says you're not good enough, you can't, you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough, you're an imposter, you will always find that your ship is going to deviate from course. Why? Because you're dealing with that inner critic. And more importantly, if you allow that inner critic to be strong, it allows the outer critic to come, because those two attract. Okay. So you've got to understand this positive attitude is not about motivational quotes. It's not about great meditations. It's about what you have to say to yourself. I'm the captain. Who do I want to be? How do I want my crew, my family, my spouse to perceive me? And then remember that the ripples of your attitude extend far beyond you. They touch every corner of your company culture, and they seep into every crevice of your family dynamic and your marriage. A positive mindset, it is a proactive approach. It's a resilient spirit, and those traits nurture and thrive your business environment, of course, your family environment, but they inspire trust. They foster collaboration, and they ignite innovation. When you come into your marriage as a business partner, or you come into your business as a business leader, or you come into your family as the leader in your family, and you are inspired and you are positive and you're focused on your destination, you create this feeling that everyone around you is valued and is important, and that motivates them and that empowers them to want to support you and your role in the business. And it goes a step further. A healthy state of mind creates very robust family relationships. It creates a home where love, respect, and understanding that blooms in abundance. It's a home where the business decisions and the family dinners can coexist with harmony. It's a home where laughter rings as loud as the chime of success. I love that quote. Reflect on your attitude. Think about your state of mind right now. Ask yourself, is it helping your business grow? Is it strengthening your family bonds right now? Or is it time for you to make a shift and transform? And remember, you have the power to shape your reality. Okay. And whether you're spiritual or not, I love this scripture in the Bible. The tongue sets the course of your life. We talk about law of attraction, this kind of thing. Tongue sets the course of your life. If you are speaking negatively to yourself, if you are internalizing negative thoughts honestly over and over again, it really does create an atmosphere around you where everybody can feel it, including your children. So let's cultivate a mindset that breeds success. Okay. We need that. That company culture that you're building needs that. Your Clients need to feel the excitement of what you are all about. So they want to be a part of your business. And then obviously, your family wants to feel it too, because growing a family business or being in business together with your spouse, it's an exciting adventure, right? You're on that vast ocean, right? And yeah, it's exciting to think about all of the cool things that you're going to get to stop and see along the way, but it is going to challenge your mental strength. And let's be very clear, mental strength is the anchor when the ship is steady in a storm. Okay. And when you're in the storm of things, if you guys don't have mental stability and that need for cohesion to come together, man, is it going to be a rough ride. And that filters down when you've got staff members. So whether you're in business with your partner or not, whether you're married to an entrepreneur and you are working in corporate America, that cohesion filters down into your family culture. And then your little entrepreneur goes to his business or her business, and that filters out into the business culture. That's why it's so important that when a business or life is going through, I would say, turbulent waters, right? That mental strength has to already be strong. Now, I'm not delusional. We're going to get sad. We're going to get mad. We're going to go through disappointments, but it's how long do you stay in that negative frame of mind of grief or anger or frustration until you shift out and then move forward thinking, all right, pull it together, pull it together. Are these first world problems or these third world problems? Do I have a support system around me? Are my kids healthy? Am I healthy? Is my wife, is my husband healthy? Then we're okay. We're going to be fine. Do we have food on the table? We're going to be fine. We're going to figure this out. Okay. So I think that's really important for you to remember that resilient mindset, because this is going to be a rough journey. But man, is it rewarding when you go through those tough patches? You can look back and say, God, we've come a long way. Think about when you were a child and you'd go to the beach and you would build sand castles on the beach and the water would come and wash it away. So you'd scoot back and rebuild and maybe even build it stronger. That's the type of mental strength you need to have. You're not sitting there crying because the ocean washed your sandcastle away. You move back a little bit, give yourself some room. You build it stronger, you build it bigger, right? You ask mom and dad for help. You pull resources together. You have to revert back to this childlike mentality of resilience, being in awe of what you're learning, not being angry that you're having to learn. Okay. Now, you can have a great mental attitude. You can be inspired. You can have a great vision. You can have a great logo. None of that matters if you don't take action. Okay. A positive mindset needs to be accompanied with action. You don't have a car with a full tank of gas and not an engine to start it. Doesn't make sense. The potential is there, but there's no action, right? It's just a shell. And so if you don't have action, if you don't have sales, you have a hobby. You don't have a business. And that's why people can get really inspired and they love the title, I own my own business, et cetera, but no action, no business. So if you bask in the glory of saying I own my own business, or, my wife and I are in business together, or, my son and I are in business together, we have a family business. It's an enchanting phrase. It speaks to legacy. It speaks to pride. It's a dream, but no reality, right? So are you building a solid framework for your business growth? You see, owning a business is like planting a tree. When you say, this is the tree, the pride you feel, it's declaring, right? You put a tree in your yard. That's great. That's like saying, this is my business. This is our family business. But does the story end there? No, of course not. You've got to nurture the tree. You got to feed the tree. You got to help it grow, right? Your dream is the blueprint. Okay. Your passion is the foundation, but your actions are the brick and mortar. And what holds everything together, what ensures that building is going to stand tall, your business is the building, your family is the building, it's the framework, it's the strategic plan that guides your actions. You have a clear vision that's been mapped out, it lights your path, right? You've got sound management systems, and that keeps everything running. And building this framework is not about chasing short-term gains. Okay, it's not riding on the wave of popularity either to say I'm an entrepreneur. It's about creating long-term value. It's about investing in your own professional development, investing in your team. It's about improving processes. It's about innovating the products and the services that you're bringing to the table. It's about understanding your target market. It's about listening to your customers, staying ahead of your competition. And more importantly, it's about taking personal responsibility for your own business growth. You have no business growth, you are accountable. And you can whine about it or you can do something about it. Okay. So listen, even after you start getting sales in, you cannot, just enjoy the fruits of your labor. You've got to understand that's where the real work begins. So if you're whining and you're in startup mode and you're whining about how hard it is and the struggle and you're all over the place, what are you going to do when you've got a staff and you've got a team? So you got to get focused now. And if your business is mid-size, and I know there's some folks on here that your business is mid-size, and you've been sitting back and just letting the business coast along, I got news for you. You are not building sustainability. Your business is set up for failure. I don't care if you've been in business 10 years. You really got to think about this. Okay. So what happens when we're all positive, but we're not really taking great action? I'm going to tell you what happens. Imposter syndrome. The next time you think, I don't feel like I can do this, or I feel like if I get found out that people aren't going to believe I'm really an entrepreneur, I want you to stop for a minute and say, am I doing enough to build a solid framework for business growth? Am I nurturing my tree so it will grow? Am I laying the right bricks to build that robust structure? You can remember the glory of saying I own a family, but it's only as meaningful as you backing it by the commitment to say, I'm building a solid framework for its growth. So we're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to dig deep into the soil of hard work, and we're going to start building, because the true glory lies in not in owning a business, but really growing the business. So imagine yourself in this kind of unfamiliar city. You have no GPS, no phone, no map, no street signs. How do you know what direction to get from A to B? You don't. And that's precisely what happens when you don't have a solid business plan and you're not looking at every segment of your business and saying, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Am I doing this? Am I doing this? Okay. And that's stressful. That's stressful. So we're going to dive into that, and that's going to be long. It's going to be intense. It's going to be boring. But do you want to feel like an imposter, or do you really want a business? Do you want to say that you're an entrepreneur out in the public, but behind the scenes, you're laying in bed and you can't get out of bed because you don't really have a plan? If that's the case, then go get a job. And you can end here and go out for a nice Saturday, right? You know me, I don't pull any punches. This is about getting to work, okay? So the absence of a business plan, it's going to lead to self-doubt. You're going to be questioning yourself all the time because you don't have a roadmap. And that's where that imposter syndrome sneaks in. Okay. And listen, when you don't have that plan, you don't feel safe. You don't feel secure. And if you're in business with your partner, a partner, or your life partner, and you guys are just coasting along without a solid business plan, then I'm going to tell you friction is going to occur. Because what happens is your ideas of how to run the business, their ideas how to run the business might be different because there's nothing been mutually agreed upon, no relevant action steps that says you're going to do this, I'm going to do this, and together we're headed here. Everybody's just doing their own thing. That's not safety. That's like not having a home. Home makes you feel safe. If you don't have a place to live, you don't feel safe, you feel insecure, you feel unstable. Your business plan is your home. Okay, really important. All right, so let's dive into the 3A's of entrepreneurship. We're going to start right now with this ability. We dealt with attitude. That's you got to have a great attitude to be able to cultivate the skills of ability. You got to feel good about moving forward with ability. So I'm going to give you the skills, the ability to run the business. This is going to be long, detail oriented. And if you want more support, reach out for a one-on-one coaching call. Okay. Because to run a business, operations is your steering of the ship, right? You must focus on the horizon. You've got to anticipate challenges. You've got to make quick, informed decisions. And all of that operational activity within your business is what supports the ship. So if you're running a restaurant, right, you need equipment, you need processes, you need safety guidelines, et cetera. If you've got an e-commerce business, there's processes behind the scenes of making that online business run, right? If you're running a professional service business, you need trucks, you need equipment, you need processes as well to handle how you take care of that professional service so that customer's happy, right? All of that needs to happen. And here's the thing, cash flow is the lifeblood to your ship, okay? A ship needs water to stay afloat, businesses need cash to stay afloat, right? And you must learn how to manage the ebb and the flow of income and expenses to ensure that your ship has enough reserves to go smoothly through the course that we're on, right? And sales and marketing, that's about putting your ship on the map. That's about making noise. It's about attracting attention. It's about convincing passengers to get on your ship and go. It's about telling compelling stories and creating those memorable experiences. It's the fun part of business, right? And you need all of this to go. And of course, you need the human resource element, because even if you're a solo entrepreneur, you are the human resource to make all of these parts pull together. You need a solid team approach. You need to make sure that you're not hiring an intern to manage your bookkeeping, right? You need a solid human resource plan. So, it takes all of these elements, and that takes skill. You've got to learn how to manage your operations. You've got to learn how to manage your financials more effectively. Rounding all of that together makes a very effective business. So let's get into it. Okay, get ready. This is a lot of detail, a lot of work. No sales, no business, sales management, number one, because all the rest you can kind of figure out as you go along. No sales, no business, right? And what do you need to do to get sales? Understand your target market. It's critical, whether you're a startup and if you're a mature business, your target market's going to be evolving. But the key to developing your business growth is understanding your target market. Think about it. Product development. Understanding your target market helps you create products and services that meet your audience's needs and desires. It increases the likelihood that your products and your services are going to succeed in the marketplace. Marketing and advertising. When you know your target market, then you create tailored marketing and advertising campaigns that resonate with your audience. And that increases the ability for you to put the investment out there to go and get prospects and them to come back into your door. It increases your ROI. Competitive advantage. By understanding your target market, you identify the gaps in the market that your competitors are not addressing. It gives you a competitive advantage to stand out in the marketplace. Financial efficiency. Knowing your target market allows you to take the resources that you have on the channels and the strategies that most likely reach your target audience. Do you know that the number one reason why I get marketing clients for our branding agency is because our clients have wasted time and money on marketing activities that did not work? And why do you think that is? That's because they didn't have a clear understanding of their target audience. Customer retention. Understanding your target market, it helps you build deeper customer relationships. You can anticipate their needs. You can respond to their feedback, and you can provide better customer service as a result. And that leads to what? Customer satisfaction and customer retention. So as your business matures, right, you have to continually evolve in understanding your target audience. It can change over time. Market trends, the economy, what they want and what their needs are, what's happening in your competitive landscape, these all evolve. And so even as your business matures every year, you should be evaluating your target market. And remember, even if you are the only one selling, you have to understand sales strategy. You need to always be learning about innovative ways to approach sales. You need to always be learning and growing. Been in business for a very, very long time, and I still listen to different strategies and effective tools to help me improve my sales presence out in the community. And you've got to build a sales team, of course, as your business grows, right? And here's the thing. Remember this. I don't care if there's one of you, two of you, 20 of you. You must understand who's responsible for business development, who is responsible for onboarding that client, and who is responsible for ongoing customer account management. You've got to identify those roles. If you don't have people in these three different seats, you've got to hire the right people for the right seats. You cannot have your business development person also taking care of the customer ongoing. Those need to be two separate roles. They're there to go fish, bring it into the storehouse, and somebody's got to cook it and take care of it. Okay. The person that's doing business development is never the person that's good for account management. They just want to drop it off the door and go on to the next. And that's, I don't care if there's two of you, three of you, 20 of you, those roles need to be separate. And then onboarding is its own animal, because you need somebody to make sure the minute they walk in that door to your business, the minute they sign that contract, they have the most warm welcome, right? And that all comes with proper training when you've got the right people in the right seats. And what's more important is you don't know if you're being successful in your sales management if you're not tracking performance. There needs to be a general commitment of how many leads you're bringing in the door every single month, how many touches you're bringing in every single month. And if you are a solo entrepreneur, that commitment is to yourself. If there's a couple and you guys are working and growing your business, that's a commitment to each other. If you have a whole entire team, you should be tracking their performance. That's super important. And it's more than just hiring talented individuals as you grow your business and you bring people in. It really does mean that you are implementing the right sales tools and the technology for them to succeed. Because I see a lot of entrepreneurs that put a lot of standards on their team, but they don't give them the tools to succeed. And sometimes, by the way, your sales problem is a marketing problem. And sometimes your sales problem is not your marketing problem. I just want to put that out there for a couple of you that I know are on this call. Okay. These are really about giving them great resources. And I will tell you, for me and my business, we had to bring somebody in from the outside. We needed help. So if you need sales coaching, if you need help with business development, or if you need assistance in what type of sales tools that you need to have within your business, connect with me and I will put you in touch with some really good people. Okay. And they definitively have been instrumental in the growth of our business, right? So listen, no matter what, again, no matter if you're a solo entrepreneur in business with your spouse, or you got a family owned business, or you got a team, you need collaboration tools to continually foster communication and analyze what's happening. Remember, no sales, no business. That's super important. And once you get them in the door, right? Once you get the sales in, you need a very good customer account management plan. And this is the failure of entrepreneurs typically. They go out and they get the customer, they hurry up and give them whatever they need, and then that's the end of it. They're not thinking of ways to enhance the customer service experience. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's why we've got the promotional products company, because the gifting aspect of taking care of the customers that come on board, from new customers that come on board to thanking them at holiday time, it complements our marketing agency. It's why it's the multi-billion-dollar industry, because customer account management is so important. And also remember, when you've got customers in the startup phase, you might have some C customers, right? And our goal is A customers. But every year you got to take your customer base. Who are my A customers? Who are my B customers that I want to turn to A customers? And then who are the C customers that, if they leave the company, maybe I need to fire them. Maybe I need to get rid of them. Maybe they're costing me money, but if they leave the company, they're not going to affect the bottom line. And then you got to think of opportunities to upsell and cross-sell them. And how are you going to build and strengthen your relationship with them? How are you going to make sure that they feel like they're the only customer in your business? What are the touch points that you're going to put together to make sure they feel like they're the most important customer? And I'm not talking about the C customers. I'm talking about the A's, because those are your profitable customers. The B customers, you want to elevate up to your A customer base. Very important. So you've got to have an ABC strategy with your customers. And when you do that, guess what happens? That analysis begins to really make your customer persona very clear. We all start our business with the best customer persona we can imagine. But when the data comes out, when you find out who's really buying your products and services at a profitable margin, that may change your target audience. We talked about that earlier, right? And it may change the way you competitively position your company, because you're very clear on who's really enjoying your products and services, and you want to take good care of them. Okay. So you got great sales management. You've got great business development happening. You're fostering those customer relationships. None of it matters if you aren't managing your dollars, because you can have top line sales growth and be losing money at the bottom line. And that is the common reason why people fail in starting a business. Number one reason, they have started a product and they have no idea if they've done no research to see if there's a target audience that wants that product or wants that service. Second reason, cash flow. You can have the most innovative ideas, the most robust business models. You can have dedicated teams. You can have financing, lines of credit, investors. But if you don't know how to manage your cash, you are going to have an eventual downfall. That's it. Hello, speaking from experience, because we had two family businesses that failed 100%. I wasn't managing cash flow 100% in my early days when I had to learn, move out of corporate America where cash was unlimited, and then get into the real world of entrepreneurship and understand, so I really need to know what cash flow management is. So cash management, that's collecting managing and investing back into the company. Okay. And you need to make sure that you are looking at adequate funds for your operations. When you're a startup, you want to do the bare minimum that you need to get by. You've got to make sure that you've got a buffer for unexpected expenses. The goal should be at least 6 months. And if you're not managing cash, you are going to miss growth opportunities. Because if you are not, when you grow and you start getting cash in the door, or let's say you've got excess cash, right? But you're spending it faster than you're bringing it in, right? You're going to miss on opportunities to expand your products and services based on market demands. Okay. And worse yet, you might ruin your credit and not be able to secure additional funding. So we got to get cash under control. Okay. That's real important. And let's just talk about this financial management and lessons learned. You can see on the slide, obviously you need a budget, right? You need regular financial reviews, but let's talk about the internal structure of your finance department, if you will. I highly recommend startup to small size, not quite mid-size in your business, external bookkeeper, a separate CPA to manage your tax planning and file your taxes, sales tax, all of that. Keep those roles separate. Why? One, you don't want to bring somebody in and have to pay for salary when you're startup to small, okay? But you need checks and balances. And so when you hire an external bookkeeper, your CPA can say, hey, something looks off here. I see that $10,000 left your bank account. Or I see that you guys are constantly spending money with this vendor. Do you know who it is? And so you got a way to protect yourself, and never assume that because you hire a family member or you hire a friend that they're going to keep your bookkeeping all in alignment. It's the biggest danger. I know entrepreneurs that have had brothers steal from them, mothers steal from them. And we had a family member in our business that took 40 grand in 1 year from our business because we left it all up to trust and chance. So separate out those roles. That's really important. And that internal bookkeeper, they're handling the daily financials, right? They may be handling your family financials too and keeping those together, but that CPA gives the holistic view of your financial health, et cetera. And if you have a complicated situation like Denny and I do, where he's Canadian, he's here, and I'm American, and we came together, right? You need that expertise there. So it's really important to keep that expertise, to keep everything clean. I've been through 3 audits, never had a penalty, never had to pay additional fees, and I think fines, because I think we kept these roles very defined and very separate. And so that's the best recommendation. Obviously, all of these other things that are listed, emergency funds and setting financial goals, accounting software, these are no-brainers. They're on this slide. You can check it off your things to do, but I'm going to tell you in the background, you got to really set up that financial support system nicely. Okay. More importantly, quarterly cash flow meetings. What does that mean? You get on the phone with your CPA as your business is really starting to take off, and you are looking at cash flow over and over again. You don't want to be hit with unexpected taxes, quarterly taxes. You might move from quarterly to monthly payments. You don't want them picking up the phone and calling you. Ask me how I know. Hey, we need a check for $125,000 to pay your taxes. You what? Because we weren't having quarterly meetings. So the team members that I needed to hire, the trucks that I needed to purchase, all went out the door because I had to write a big tax check. Okay, so I'm speaking for personal experience. And in marriage, no guesswork. When you are business partners, you're meeting every quarter and going over your personal and business financials. Nobody's going to go out and buy a piece of equipment. Nobody's going to go out and spend more money on marketing unless you're in agreement together, unless you're ready to jump off the cliff together. You've got to be in agreement. Nobody's going to quit their job. Nobody is going to hire someone else to support them Nobody is going to sponsor an event unless you're together and on the same page. Okay, let's move from financial, not fun in running a business, worst part of running a business, but it's what it takes, right? And let's talk about the human side, because it's really important that the human resource management startup, barely starting, growing, is really clear. Who is going to do what? And of course, human resource management requires good recruitment and retention and employee engagement. And you got to be compliant with all the laws and the regulation. And you got to do performance evaluations, and you got to do cost management. Like, what are you going to do in terms of compensation and bonuses, et cetera? Are they going to be independent contractors? Are they going to be employees? These are important critical elements as you're growing your business, but more importantly, as your business is already there. If you don't have a customer recruitment or retention plan, if you don't have a way to create employee engagement, if you are not monitoring the laws and the regulations on independent contractor status versus employee status, and if you certainly aren't giving performance management, I'm going to tell you, human resource can be the most detrimental part to your business. I rank it number 3 in why businesses fail. Okay. Especially if you're working together, especially if you have a family business. Hiring family business members and working as a couple, it's attractive, right? But, and why is it attractive, right? Because trust, loyalty, you're in it together, right? But it's not always the best human resource strategy. And here's why. There's potential for nepotism. You're in business together, one couple's doing more work than the other, or the other person says, hey, while you're out doing this, I'm at home. What in the world? It's not fair. You're out having fun with our business. I'm out here in the background doing what? Not good. Or 2 people are trying to build the business, 2 people are trying to grow the sales, and you think one is not doing enough over the other. Not good. Okay. Or when you got family members involved, is there favoritism? That kind of thing. And that creates discord, especially if you got non-employees. Difficulties in performance management. Can you imagine when Denny and I first got into business together and I had to do performance management conversations? Very challenging when it came to having dinner at night. So you got to be careful if you want to be in business together and if you want to hire family members, right? Because that performance objectivity to receive it, to give it, has to be clearly there, right? And that creates boundary issues. Personal and professional lives, they're going to overlap significantly when you have a business as a family. And this is going to result in work conflicts naturally, but also in those personal conflicts. And you hire family members, somebody doesn't want to retire, somebody doesn't want to quit. You got succession planning issues as well. So I'm not saying I love family business. I love being in business with my husband. I'm not saying not to be in business with each other. I'm not saying not to have a family business. It's a convenient solution at best, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right fit. And you have to have some very deep conversations with yourselves and say, can I work with that person? And I will tell you, Denny's running our promotional products company. I don't want to be in it. I love the way he does it. It's not how I would do it, but he's successful in his own right, and he needs that autonomy to do that. He works with our team members just fine, and they adore him. But I could not work with him every single day. That's just not doable. And so we have our own swim lanes, and that's good. And that makes for healthy marriage, and we're good at supporting each other in that. So you need to remember that this is about, do you have the skills to run the position that you're in? And you have to have honest conversations with each other, whether you're hiring your kids, your grandchildren, or you're working together. Do you have the skills to run the business, run marketing, run sales, run operations, work in the finance area? Do you have the skills? Are you the best person to run your business? Maybe not. Maybe you are great at sales, but you're not great as a CEO. And maybe you need to be okay stepping down and stepping away from that role and bringing somebody else in to do that and focus on your core competencies. So human resource management and getting that all ironed out when you're in startup mode is important, because as you grow, and I know we've got family-owned businesses on here, as you grow, it becomes more of a challenge if you didn't deal with it early on. And it's so important that everybody understands that at the end of the day, you're going to treat your family members and your non-family members with the same evaluation, the same compensation, and that's going to ensure fairness, equality. And if they need to start sweeping in the back warehouse before they can work into the finance department, that's what they need to do. If they need to be doing social media before they can be the head of marketing, that's what they need to do. Okay. One of the greatest things that we did with our contracting company is my son had to get out there and clean carpets. He had to resurface countertops. He had to paint before he can move up and be assistant general manager to my ex-husband. It was a great learning experience for him. And I'm so glad that we did that, because now he has his own business and he's got those core values of working hard and getting his hands dirty. And he may want to work on his business, but he's not afraid to get in and work in the business as well. So really important, family members and couples. I love family business. I think we bring the most unique perspective to entrepreneurship that there is, but you got to have that clearly defined. Now let's talk about something fun. Can we? We spent an hour in the minutia of human resource and finance. Let's talk about something fun. Brand creation and management, critical to entrepreneurship. Okay. It's one of the most enjoyable and inspiring aspects of running a business. And during this process, right, this brand identity, this vision, this baby comes to life. And every decision that's made in brand creation, from the logo design to the tone of voice, to how you use the brand in communication through your marketing efforts or your sales efforts, and how the public perceives your brand, it's all in this brand creation process. And then brand management, it's equally exciting, right? Because it's dynamic. It's an ongoing process of evolving the brand through constant analysis. You are looking at how customers are engaging with your brand. How is the market receiving your brand? How are you adapting strategies to modify the brand to answer the market's needs, right? And that's fun. It's creative. You are creating more products and services to adapt your brand to what your clients need or your prospective clients. And that creative, strategic, and interactive journey as a couple, as a family-owned business, or even as a solo entrepreneur with your team members, it really can bring you guys closer together because you're building something great. And it's one of the most inspiring, fun parts of the business. And that thrill of brainstorming ideas and experimenting with concepts and then coming to the conclusion, okay, this is what we want our brand identity to be. It encapsulates your business vision, and your vision for your business might change over time, but it's really rewarding when you see it kind of really taking its life of its own and establishing itself exactly how you thought it would be. Okay. And brand identity infuses passion and values and your personality into the business. That's the one thing I love about brand management. But I think entrepreneurs forget. They forget to continue to look at their brand and how do we evolve it. And you know why they forget? Look at number one. They forget about their target market. They don't establish a target market. They don't establish customer personas, and they don't evaluate them every single year. So remember that target market that we talked about earlier, that target audience really drives your brand creation and evolution. Okay. And you want that brand continually being managed, because that process evolves, assessing the customers, engaging with the customer, looking at trends, what's happening out there in the marketplace, what technologies are out there, what kind of strategies do we need to put in place so that we stay relevant for the long haul, not for a couple of years. On average, do you know that this story about 50% of startups failing, do you know when businesses really fail? At the 10-year mark. You know why? Because they don't evolve. You reach the 10-year mark, you've really built a strong business. Businesses tend to fail in that 5 to 7 year mark. Why? Because they built the business, they got the branding, they got the logo, they got sales in the door, and they forgot to manage the brand. So you always have to take that end of the year planning strategy. That's why we do marketing strategies with our agency. And we spend a whole day working with businesses, really rethinking the brand and just making sure we're on track. And we might leave that workshop saying, we're okay, we're all right, but maybe we need to make some changes in our marketing strategy, right? Maybe we need to make some changes in our sales strategy. So listen, I want to talk about marketing strategy. We're almost near the end here. We got 2 more segments to go, so hang in there. If you got to hop off, we're already at an hour. Hop off, and you can check in on YouTube and pick up where we're leaving off now, where you're leaving off now. Okay, marketing management. Small business owners traditionally take this category on themselves in order to save costs. But I want you to know it's very important that you understand when you try to take on the marketing yourself, right? You probably are not going to be staying ahead on trends. What's the most current technology? What's happening with ad strategy? What's happening in that marketing landscape? And that's why you have to remember marketing is not a one-time effort, right? It is an ongoing process that requires testing and trialing marketing strategy to find what works, and then evolving those marketing strategies as you see the competitive landscape changing. Okay. So if you are going to take that on, then you got to commit to knowing what's going on in marketing all the time. And unless you're prepared to invest significant time in that arena when you've got your professional services or your online company that you still have to run, then I'm not sure that you are the best person for your marketing efforts. However, I want to tell you that doesn't mean to go hire a marketing agency. There are pros and cons to bringing your marketing in-house. And I'm not talking about hiring an intern. I'm talking about hiring an experienced marketing individual. And I will tell you, usually when you get to about $1 million to $1.5 million in revenue, I recommend you've got somebody in-house at that time, even if you've got an outside agency working on like website management, SEO, that type of thing. You still have someone in-house. Pros of in-house, you have complete control of your marketing. They understand the business. They're dedicated to the intention of the business. They can see opportunity costs to promote things quicker. And it might be more cost effective in the long run, right? Because you're not having to communicate to an agency what they need to implement in terms of brand strategy, et cetera. The cons are you need to make sure that you're investing in their own professional development, and you don't want that person responsible for your social media and then taking care of your trade show and events. You need to make sure that if you bring someone in, you're segmenting their work activity, and they're not the web designer, the graphic designer, the social media person, the trade show and event person, et cetera, et cetera. That's traditionally what we find, right? They don't have the skill set to be everything to you from a marketing perspective, okay? From an outsourced marketing perspective, obviously the marketing agencies have to keep up with our expertise on a regular basis, because this is what makes us more efficient in executing what's next in marketing for our clients. And believe me, people have the perception that marketing agencies will take advantage of companies, and there are some people that will do that. But The quicker we get the job done for you and the more effective we get the job done for you in a timely manner, the more profitable it is for us because we are a labor-intensive business. So if you've got a good agency, they are getting the work done for you quickly, efficiently, and effectively. So you're not coming back discouraged and they're having to redo the work again. Okay. And we've got a fresh perspective because we work with tons of industries. So we can see what's happening in each industry at a higher level. And we can also help you create your own niche because we're not in your world all the time. We can see your industry from a high level view and look down and say, you know what? If you want to differentiate yourself, you need to be over here. So that's the benefit. Now, combination of both in-house and outsource is the best scenario only when you're at $1.5 million and up. Under that, I recommend complete outsourcing of your marketing efforts. It's just not worth it for you to take it on. You need to be working on your business, not in your business. You need to be growing sales, not managing marketing. Okay. So that's really important. All right. Managing of operations. Oh, this is the worst category for me. I can't stand it. But systems and processes. So one thing I'm good at, if you organize your home, if you are running a household, you know about systems and processes, and you got to come into your business with that same mentality. Okay. And there should be a system and a process for every aspect of your business. How you onboard a client, how you keep up with customer management, how you initiate the service, how you follow up with them. All of that requires a process. And when you're training people, let me give you a great tip. You train people by showing them how you do the work. You train along the side of them so you can watch them implementing what you want them to do. And then you really, really let them go by themselves. And then you follow up kind of behind the scenes when you are training in the operations mode. Okay. Step-by-step guides. And why is this important? When you don't have systems and processes in place and you bring people into your business, they have no clear expectation of what is considered a good job or if they are being successful. And you risk, especially if you are the person doing that work, if you were the person doing that work and you're hiring somebody to take over that skill, you risk them really hurting your business because you did not put clear processes together. Think about restaurants. Restaurants cannot run unless they've got front of the house and back of the house and great operations in between to make sure both are working cohesively. Think of a warehouse and how that all works, right? You got to have great operational inventory management in order to ensure that shipments are getting out the door properly. I don't care what kind of business you have, you've got some sort of system and process, and that needs to be clearly documented and clearly defined before you're hiring people to come and sit in that seat. Sales, marketing, HR, it doesn't matter what their role is. You need to have your processes written out. SOP, standard operating procedures. Most painful thing that you will do, just like cash flow management, but we are not babies. We suck it up and we get the work done, right? So you've got to do it. All right. Those are the skills that it takes to run a business. Are you overwhelmed yet? Don't be. Why? Because aspiration is the final A in the 3A's of entrepreneurship. And aspiration is pivotal in your entrepreneurial journey. It is mainly about the essence of having aspiration for growing and scaling your business. It is the driving fuel for ambition. It sparks innovation. It propels entrepreneurs to push beyond their comfort zones. You think I wanted to be sitting around doing standard operating procedures or reading the documents that people were giving me? No. Did I want to be creating logos and brand strategies for my clients? Yes. but that's not grown-up life. That is not the grown-up world of entrepreneurship. So when you have a clear vision, okay, that clear vision really aspires you to achieve these concrete goals, right? To help you strategize effectively, and you remain focused when you have challenges. So aspiration isn't necessarily about financial growth. It's also about this desire to create impactful solutions for your client needs, to build a motivating team that cares as much about the client as you do, to foster this strong company culture where you're cohesive together, or to be in partnership with your loved one where you guys are working as one, not as two. Okay. And with that 3A of entrepreneurship, you have to have aspiration as a part of your entrepreneurship model. It's critical. It's like one of the foundational tools. And it extends beyond business growth because it encompasses your personal life. Many entrepreneurs, they view achieving a really healthy marriage and a strong family life as meaning their business is going to have to sacrifice it. You can't have both. And that's just not the case. You can have a healthy marriage, you can have a strong family life, and you can build a strong, successful business together. Okay. Because that marriage is the foundation by which we build our business. That family is the foundation by which we build that business. And it's crucial that those bonds are strong and lasting so that you have this incredible force within you to go back and tackle that entrepreneurial problem that you're facing in your business. Okay. So I think when we're talking about running a business together as a couple, that's a rewarding effort, right? It's challenging for sure. That intertwining of the personal and professional lives, that demands clear communication. And if you're married to someone that's running a business and you are in the corporate world, you still need to know what's going on in that business. You need to know the financial decisions that are being made. We had a very, very good friend couple. He died of a heart attack. She was in a corporate America. She had no idea how to run that business. More importantly, she didn't know his debt structure. And thank God he had some entrepreneurial friends that stepped in to get that business taken care of. And she was able to sell it and move on. But she had no idea what was going on. She didn't even know what was in the bank accounts of the business, what debts were owed, what did the employees need. She had no, you have to know. You have to know for safety reasons. Okay. So sharing in those responsibilities are really important. Okay. And if you're working together, honoring boundaries, it's vital if you're going to work together. Everybody needs their swim lane. Nobody's allowed to cross over. And you need that so that each partner can feel the autonomy of success, so that there's a healthy work environment, so that there's healthy accountability. You own this, you're supposed to do this. I own this, I'm supposed to do this. If you didn't do this, you better tell me why. If I didn't do this, I owe you an explanation. And those boundaries are clearly defined. Now, obviously, you're going to help each other, right? But those shared responsibilities at home, again, clearly defined, right? It's not all on one person to pick up the slack at home while the other person's out. Obviously, there are ups and downs, there's ebb and flows, but really clear boundaries so each person can feel successful. That's what makes us go around in terms of feeling good about the business that you're growing. Meetings, marriage meetings, marriage meetings, marriage meetings, weekly marriage meetings, our business meetings, family meetings that you need to have, right? And if you don't have that open communication, I don't care how strong your business becomes, it's not going to matter if you're looking at each other in the eye and saying, I don't know you anymore. So Those marriage meetings are super, super critical. And if you face challenges, get some help. Okay. Get some professional help, get a mentor, get a coach, or get some counseling. All right. Let's just talk about one more thing as we wrap up. Remember your why. That driving force is going to fuel your passion. And when you're down and you're feeling frustrated, remember why you started this to begin with. And more importantly, look at how far you've come. Sometimes we're so focused on the future, we don't realize how much we've accomplished. There's many times when Denny and I are together and he'll say to me, do you remember X number of years ago what we did and how we got here? And I'll say the same thing. Babe, let's think about this year. We did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. And we amaze ourselves at how much we accomplish. So never forget your why, and also never forget how far you've come. Okay. I think that's really important. Reflect on your journey, write vision boards together or vision exercises together. And more importantly, love on each other through this journey if you're in business together. And if you've got a great team and you don't have a spouse in your business, you know what? Show them some appreciation out of the norm, handwritten note, a compliment their way, and look at yourself in the mirror, will you? And say, you know what? You're okay. You're good. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. I'm so proud of myself. We crammed a lot in an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 17 minutes. A couple of things. I just hope this was an enlightening discussion around the 3A's of entrepreneurship. And I hope you found this webinar / I would call it workshop to be insightful, to be inspiring, whether you're a solo entrepreneur, an entrepreneur that's in business with your partner, or you're a family-run business. I hope that this has been helpful in navigating this world of entrepreneurship. And remember to balance out your relationships no matter what's going on, and keep that guidance in your journey that marriage and family are number one, right? That's the most important thing. And I specialize now in really working and supporting couples and family-owned businesses. I've taken on several couples in that journey, and it's been very rewarding. So I'm more than happy to talk to you about what that looks like if you're looking for some one-on-one coaching or couple sessions, etc. And I just want to remind you to go to our social media platforms, subscribe to our YouTube channel, get on our newsletter, and pay attention to the events and the workshops that we have upcoming. I'm hoping in 2025 we'll be in Mexico doing some beautiful retreats. We're working on that, but we've got a little bit of a special offer. If you do go to our Facebook page or to our Google page and leave a review, screenshot that, send that to info@360-entrepreneur.com, info@360-entrepreneur.com, and send that over that you left us a review. And I tell you what, we will send you our marriage meeting agenda. And I will tell you, it's the exact agenda that my husband and I follow for our personal life and for our business life. And we'll send that to you at no charge. Thank you guys so much for taking time to trust me with my expertise and my knowledge as it correlates to your business. I'm sending you giant hugs this day. Go out and enjoy your weekend.